Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, December 21st, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, Misty, and AMZY. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty damn tired, so hopefully I don't screw this up. But luckily, most of the trades were done earlier in the week. Well, which is good and bad thing. Obviously good for me, but the fund, some of them not so much. But anyway, who had trades yesterday? If we look here, TSLY had a trade, and then NVIDIA had a trade. So let's get to it. So here's TSLY. What did they do? 4 transactions. They have a buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. So all that means is they added 450 contracts to the synthetic position. And you see the synthetic, it's a 480 strike price, expiration date 2/21/25. Okay, check. And then they sold calls on those same contracts right away with an expiration date of next Friday, 12/27. And then you see the strike prices for the sold call and the buy call, creating the call credit spread. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet and see what it looks like. Okay, here is the synthetic 480. So here's the 450 contracts they added to that. And if you look, the call debit is less than the put credit. All that means is, Tesla price is, under the strike price of the synthetic. So obviously, if we scroll down, you can see this. Okay, Tesla is at 421, versus the synthetic 480. That's a pretty big gap. So, since they opened that position, they actually got paid because, it's risky to sell a put, for that strike price, right? Because you're basically saying, all right, I'll buy these shares at 480. But Tesla's at 421. So obviously you're getting a massive credit for that. And then I was, buying the call, it's cheap. Why is the buying the call cheap? Because right now, again, you only essentially make money in the end if you let it expire to the end, if the underlying goes above that strike price. So again, in both instances, when the underlying price is below the strike price, you're typically going to make money adding to the position. But hopefully, the hope is things will recover and turn around. But Tesla's been on such a tear, it's hard to imagine. I don't know. Maybe it'll get back up to that 480 by 221. Maybe not. Who knows? But anyway, enough about that. They are 12.28% under. And they have 63 days to catch up. We'll see. Let's go to the weeklies. How did Tesla do yesterday? Well, everything recovered. Most of them recovered. Not Tesla. Tesla went down actually 3.46% yesterday. TSLY went down 3.22% yesterday. So yeah, not a great day for Tesla. TSLY. The rest of the market kind of did a little bit of a comeback after getting destroyed during the week. But, all right, so let's see where we stand. Now, here's the contracts they added, 450 contracts. You can see they sold a call, 450, 250. That's 7.47% out of the money. They bought a call for 82.50, $30 gap. That's 14.59% away from assisting. Now, the other positions, where do they stand? Since Tesla went down, these actually are in a better spot. They both have the same strike price. So we have about 26,000 contracts, 505 strike price, 19.9% out of the money. So they're set up pretty well for next week. So we shall see. Pretty scattered, right? 450, 250 strike on one, 505 on the other. But knowing what they do, if Tesla is flat or down on Monday, they'll probably close this one out early already. Which, should they not? We don't know, right? Again, they could take the win early, but then they'll sell a call a little tighter, right? So if Tesla has some quick recovery, then we'll miss out on the upside. Right now, if they do recover fast, we'll miss out on the upside on the small position down below, but obviously not on the top side because there's 19% upside essentially, right? We have that much room that we could grow and not lose that call. But again, we'll see what next week brings. Could it bring the Santa Claus rally? I don't know. All right. As far as outstanding shares, they had an increase of 350,000. So people buying, they got Christmas money, I guess. 30-day IV, 67%. Outstanding shares, 70.8 mil. Total net income, it's not income, it's a loss of $133 million. That's how much they lost on the weeklies, right? When all said and done, during this 4-week cycle, they got whooped. Because why? Because Tesla has been on a tear, and they sell calls close to the money. And since they sell calls close to the money, obviously, if you're selling calls on a stock that's pretty much going to the moon lately, that's why you get your butt kicked. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. TSLY fund manager, they're kind of happy with their position heading into next week. So I made a happy snowman. It's also kind of snowing here, so it goes with the theme. TSLY declares next week, so they're part of Group A, and they declare in 5 days. On December 26th, I believe Christmas falls on the Wednesday, so they declare on the Thursday. But yeah, I'll get an estimate video out tomorrow morning. Payment information recap. So let's see. This is, again, what I'm going to base my estimates on. Synthetic income alone, 531 mil. Short call losses, they lost 133 mil. We talked about that. So they produced a net income of 397 mil. This is, again, taxable transactions. This is trades that went through. This is not anything on paper. So that's an income per share of $5.61, okay? If we look at last month, they paid $1.22. A month before that, they paid 59 cents. So obviously, this is a pretty big amount considering. Now, if we look simply at the IV is 68%. So, and we know they try to be able to afford to pay a yield of their IV. Since their IV is 68%, that would come to a payment of 90 cents, okay? So their payment could be anywhere from 90 cents to 561, which is a ridiculous gap, right? But if you think about it, they're not going to pay as high as 561. So we can eliminate that from the equation. And they're not going to pay as low as the IV. Why? Because they made a lot of money. So they're probably going to pay between the $1 to $2 range. $3 is a stretch in my eyes. But again, I'll think about it and I'll post the estimate tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that. TSLY, synthetic, we saw they're kind of in a rough spot. So as tired as I am, you take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger. Well, over time, and ain't gonna be. Oh, you hear me now? Okay, I'm losing it. I probably woke up people. But anyway, I don't even know half the freaking words. Who the hell knows the words? You can't even understand. I think that's Jamie Foxx's part, right? So yeah, synthetic ass whooping, basically. So I sing gold digger because pink is so much larger than the orange. So I call the pink the woman, and I call the orange the dude. And the dude can't afford the girl, so he's got a gold digger. What can you say? And they're always a pair, right? Synthetic is always a pair. So here are the calls heading into next week. Again, unplanned scatteredy-do, right? Obviously, the 450 contracts is nothing compared to the larger position. So we really are in a wonderful spot. We're ready. Like if Tesla recovers on Monday, like if they go up 10%, bring it on, baby. TSLY will capture essentially most of that, right? And if that happens, I really hope they don't close it, right? They shouldn't. If it's green, if it's heading like towards a recovery, they better not close it. They better just leave it, right? Because why? If you're gonna I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that next week. It's Friday. I mean, it's Saturday. total net assets 1.1 bill, the NAV 1593, trade price 1594. Okay, so that's TSLY. Now there was one other trade. It was NVDY. So let's go look at that. Here it is. What did they do? BC, okay, buy to close. What did they close? They closed a call, all right, 135 call, had a 12/20 expiration. So they closed the remaining calls for this week. 2,300 contracts. Look how much they paid. 6 cents. That's a win. Woohoo. All right. What they do down below? Well, obviously they have, call credit spreads on everything. So they had to sell the other piece of it, right? They sold the call 140, but don't worry, they got a whole penny for that. Yeah, baby. We in the money. All right. And what they do with those 2,300 contracts that they closed out? They used them right away, and they sold another call, a 134 into next week, next Friday. They got a 155 credit on the bottom, and then they bought a call, again, creating the call credit spread, higher strike price, 141. They paid 41 cents for that. All right, so we'll take a look at what it looks like on the spreadsheet. Okay. So we'll go to NVDY. Hello, NVDY. So NVDY did not touch their synthetics. And yes, synthetics, plural, they have so many. They have 3, 148, they got a 138, they got a 127. Right now, how are they doing? Well, they're underwater on 2 of them, but the 127, they're 6% above. And they have 33,000 on the 127, 36,000 on the 138, and 37,000 on the 148. So whatever, we'll let them play out. They expire in February, so we'll see how all that goes. I think they all expire in February. Pretty sure I got that info right. All right, so yesterday, how did Nvidia do? Well, they did pretty good. Good job, Nvidia. They went up 3.08%. NVDY went up 2.68%. So decent upside. Again, we look at these and we want, we know we're going to get capped, right? We're going to get capped one way or the other. It's just about how much are we going to get capped. We don't want to get capped too much, all right? We want most of the upside while still getting a decent yield. That's really the goal here. All right, so let's zoom out and just see what the damage looks like. If I can get the zoom game. There, it's not bad. There you go. All right, so let's look at the 2,300 contracts that they closed. You can see here, they paid 6 cents, and they originally got a $1.35 credit if you look on row 103. So obviously that's a win, right? In the end, they made $296,700 on that. So that's a win. The call credit spread, the 140, was there to protect them. That's not going to be a win, obviously, when they win the sold call. So, but it's all good because it's a net win. So you have, unfortunately, they won 296, so you have to deduct out what they lost on that. So in the end, they actually won 195,000. Okay, which is still better than losing, right? All right, so now they used those 2,300 contracts. We'll cover that first. And they sold a call into next week, a 134. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. 134. Okay, they had an existing 134s essentially on half of the shares. If you look, 40,000, 10,000, 3,300, and then they opened 2,300, the ones from yesterday. Again, I don't know. I know the market was red early on in the day. So, what did Nvidia close at? Let's see, 134.70, and they closed this one at 135. So the fact that they paid 6 cents, maybe they closed it when the market was red in the morning, and then this was actually out of the money. I assume so. They're not, that dumb, right? But either way, this just looks horrible. They opened a new position on Friday. They sold a call at 134. It's in the money already. It's in the money. God, terrible. All right, so that upside we were just talking about, you can pretty much forget it on half the shares. But don't worry, 52,000 contracts, has a 140 strike. That's still 3.93% out of the money. Needless to say, though, as an NVDY shareholder, you're not really rooting. I know they have the call credit spreads, So I still would not root for too much upside next week. I would actually root for a flat week. But it is the Santa Claus possible rally. I don't know, next week or the week after, so we'll see. Outstanding shares increased 225K. 30-day IV, 45%. Outstanding shares, 60.5 mil. Total net income, they lost 2.5 mil on the weeklies so far. Reaction, I gave them a cap. I didn't even give them the colored cap because, they're capped and it's not even next week already. So here's your damn cap. Wear it over the weekend because, you're in for next week. Although probably a lot of people taking off next week because it's a weird week. The holidays falling. They're falling on the Wednesdays this year, and it's kind of annoying, actually. But anyway, Group B declares in 12 days on January 2nd. Payment information, let's see what we got here. Well, we got nothing, really. We got synthetic loss, 62 mil. We got short call loss, 2.5 mil. NVIDIA's really sucking this cycle. So, unfortunately, we'll just talk about the IV. 46% IV would produce an 89-cent distribution. They paid $1.18 last month, so that would obviously be a complete letdown from the prior. Now, synthetics, what are we looking at? We're looking at quite the mess here. Not quite gold digger status, but really getting there. It's possible since they have 3 synthetics. I may have to sing it 3 different times, but they're not quite there yet. But they're pretty damn close because they're not doing that well in the synthetics, but they moved up, which is good. The value of this fund is 1.4 billion. The NAV is 23.30 and the trade price is 23.35. Okay, so that's for NVIDIA. Again, we're in for a rough one next week, but we'll see. Now we'll go to Misty. Misty's our favorite, right? Misty paid us, so we're all happy with Misty. So, but let's see. Let's recap. They got whooped this week, right? We had some sell-offs, and it sucked, right? We're not going to lie. Can't lie to ourselves. It sucked. Obviously, yeah, buying opportunity if we had the cash, of course. But it sucked, right? It sucks when your account goes down massively. But luckily, Friday, we ended the week pretty decently. But anyway, they have a synthetic 315. And, it's looking decent now. They're 15% above that. MSTR is 15% above that. This expires in 63 days. They didn't cash it out before their payments, so there's no rush now, right? They got another, we're in the next 4-week cycle, so we'll see how this goes. And here's how much they went up. They went up 11.56% yesterday. Misty was able to capture 8.76%. So essentially, they lost out on a 3% gain, right? They missed out on 3% upside. So let's see why. Let's see how close these calls are. I mean, the good thing is it recovered in the same week, right? But unfortunately, they already did their trades. Like, they closed out their trades after the dip, right? But, so the recovery is actually, it did them no favors selling covered calls. Sorry. So let's see how I can do this here. I'm going to do the lowest strike price. So the lowest strike price for next week, it has 4,325 contracts, 352.50 strike price. That's already 3.21% in the money. That one's just garbage right there, right? You could just throw that one away. We're probably going to lose that one. Now, obviously, yes, there's a call credit spread, so there's a 420 buy call that they did. So hopefully, obviously, if they sell it early, they could probably make a little money on that to offset the losses on the 352.50 call. But again, we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen next week. Now, the next lowest is the 365 we see here. That's 1,980 contracts, 365. That's 0.22% out of the money. Obviously, that's, not going to be pretty either. So the next lowest is 375. We actually have 2 of them. We have 500 and 10,000. So 10,500 contracts, 375 strike price. I should probably color code them. That's 2.97% out of the money. I mean, that's not safe either. So, good luck. The next strike is 380. Yeah, 380, 2,760 contracts, 380 strike, 4.34% out of the money. Okay, that's not safe. And then we have the rest of them, about what, 26,000 contracts, 385 strike, 5.71% out of the money. So obviously yesterday's recovery was pretty massive. So if there's more of that next week, we're going to be capped, but obviously we'll get some upside, with the call credit spreads, the buy calls that they have. But we know they gap them pretty wide, so there's going to be a lot of missed upside, unfortunately, if Misty or MSTR does go up next week. But stay tuned. All right, stay tuned. As far as outstanding shares, it did go up 250,000, which is not a lot for Misty. 30-day IV approaching 100%. They may go under 100%, which we don't want, but their 30-day IV shows 101%. Outstanding shares, 55 mil. Total net income, 37.4 mil. That's a distribution of 68 cents, a daily income of 23 cents, a daily yield of 0.73%, and an annualized yield so far of 265%. All right, hold on a second. There we go. So here's the reaction. Yeah, slow down, MSTR. I mean, in reality, I don't want it to slow down because I got assigned a lot of puts on MSTU. So I do want it to go up so I can sell calls. And yes, I do own Misty, so I'm still rooting for Misty. So I'm on both sides of the fence. What do you want? Do you want it to go up? We'll just make money on the synthetic, and we'll let the calls, credit call spreads do what they do. Or would you rather that wait, and then hopefully we can capture more upside on the next week? I don't know. You guys figure that out for yourselves. All right, synthetic income, there's a loss of 11 mil. Short call income, they made 37 mil so far, all right? But they're about to lose, they're about to lose their asses. So that's going to be gone, right? But let's enjoy it for now. The total income per share is 47 cents, but just the short call income, 68 cents. Throw it into the Rotomator. Obviously, if they made that amount every single day, it shows it would be a massive income, massive payment of 635. But of course, that's not realistic. Once we get 2 days, of the weekend added into the number of days, obviously that number will go down and it'll be a little more realistic over time. So let's focus on the IV maybe. IV rounds up to 102%, which would produce a 244 payment, which is less, obviously, than the last one of 308. All right, holdings for MSTY. Again, their synthetics doing good. Their calls are kind of spread, all over the place. But they're in the money, right? They're in the money. They're at the money. Some are barely out of the money. So it's gonna be a rough week for MSTY next week too. So not a good spot. But their synthetic is worth 240 mil. So keep that in mind. If MSTR does go up, if they lose their asses this week, they'll well, I keep saying they'll use it, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. But they can use the synthetic bailout money. The value of this fund is 1.7 billion. The NAV is 31.21. Trade price 31.17. So if Misty had weekly options contracts, for example, if they had a contract on the options chain that expired on Friday, I would sell calls close to the money because they're going to be capped, right? Obviously, they can close out their position earlier in the week, right? And have more upside throughout the week. But, you can't predict the future. But based on what I see, I would sell close to the money, right? But unfortunately, they only have monthly expiration dates. So, anything can happen throughout an entire month. And maybe they do that for a reason. I don't know. But but yes, it is, guys. I know for those of you that don't do options, or maybe you just do options and you don't do it on Misty, it is worth it to consider doing options on Misty. It is. The IV is amazing. The premium's amazing. And, it's been trading in this zone. So if you're worried, obviously you can just go freaking way out of the money then. Go to sell a $40 strike. At least you'll get something for your shares, right? You're holding them anyway. You might as well collect premium while you're holding them. So just sell calls way out of the money and collect something. if you get assigned at 40, then so be it. Or you can roll them out, and then maybe you won't get assigned when all's said and done. I don't know, something for you guys to think of. I'll talk more about it on my dividend car series at the end of the month because I'm making a lot of money doing premium. I'm making more money in premium than I am on the dividend for Misty. So keep that in mind. All right, let's move away from Misty. CONY and AMZY. So Amazon went down. Oh, no, it went up. I'm sorry. It went up 0.72%. AMZY went up too, 0.68%. Now that's pretty much the good capture you want to see right there. I know it didn't go up much, but still. Now their synthetic is at 210. Amazon's at 224, so they're 6.63% above their synthetic. That's a good spot to be in. And for next week, again, they got one strike, 11,035 contracts, 230 strike price, 2.26% out of the money. Santa Claus rally would destroy that, but we'll see. But they have a call credit spread. The buy call is 237. That's 5% away. So that's a decent gap. For Amazon, I don't know. We'll see. Amazon don't move much, as we know. The value of AMZY is 250 mil. The NAV is 1921. Trade price 1919. Synthetic is worth 19 mil. Again, we just got paid by AMZY on Friday. If you have a decent broker, some people didn't get paid yet, which I think is pretty freaking ridiculous. I know some brokers, it takes a while. Even Robinhood in the beginning, they were so good with that. Now, I don't know why they delay, but 30-day IV, 26.92%. Based on that, their estimate for the next cycle could be around 40 cents. Obviously, it's way too early to talk about it, but we do. And they declare again in 25 days. So that's AMZY. All right, so CONY, coin is up. Hello, CONY. Coin went up 1.72%. CONY actually beats coin. Look at that. Now, that is what I like to see. CONY went up 1.81%. That's pretty damn good. It beat it by 0.09% on the upside. Okay, well, how? Well, I don't know. Look at this disaster. Who the hell can even read it, right? They got this, they got that. All right, coin is at 278, right? 278 is under the 280 synthetic. It's under the 300 synthetic. It's under the 320 synthetic. So their synthetics are in a horrible position. In fact, you take my money. That's all I'll do. You know what I mean. The gold diggers are here. Well, there's really one gold digger, $119 million gold digger. Woo, she's expensive. She's hot as hell, but she is expensive. She want those expensive pocketbooks. Who would spend? I don't even know what they cost, but I'm sure that these like Louis Vuitton pocketbooks. Who the hell would spend the money on a freaking pocketbook like that? I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't. Dumb. Like, it's just wasted money. But anyway, the gold diggers would be gold diggers, man. They want expensive stuff. So hopefully coin recovers and we don't have to buy the pocketbooks, right? Hopefully coin recovers and we can get rid of these gold diggers, but we'll see. All right, let's see how we're headed into next week. 2,600 contracts, 300 strike price, 7.64% out of the money. That's the lowest strike. So you can pretty much just say, hell yeah, right now. Oh, the snow's coming down. Oh, yeah. All right, 19,076 contracts, 302.50 strike price, 8.54% out of the money. 3,900 contracts, 305 strike price, 9.43% out of the money. 10,389 contracts, 307.50 strike price, 10.33% out of the money. 4,615 contracts, 320 strike price, 14.81% out of the money. So I'm not going through the the buy calls, but the lowest one is $330 and it's 18.4% away from the current coin price. So they don't need that right now, but they may. You never know. You never know. But I think CONY, unlike the others, is in an awesome spot heading into the week. Unfortunately, yeah, their synthetic sucks, but we'll see. We'll see. They got room to recover. The value of this fund is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 14.33. The trade price is 14.35. All right. So 30-day IV of coin is 74%. IV estimate based on that is 82 cents, but they declare again on January 8th, which is 18 days away. So that's it. That's the update for all the YieldMax funds that I cover. As mentioned previously, I'm probably going to cut out NVDY. I'm going to add NVDY to this tab here, this file here, and it's going to have the same coverage. And then I'll keep TSLY and Misty with the detailed coverage, okay? Why TSLY and Misty? It's simply because that's what people want to see, right? I think TSLY is much more popular than NVDY. And Misty, you have to cover Misty. Misty's Misty. So there's no drop in that. And I'd like to always cover at least one. So if I have to drop another, it's going to be TSLY over Misty for sure. I know people would be pissed about that. But again, covering it this way is actually, it's not that bad. It makes my videos shorter. It's just quicker and easier to understand, I think. And I don't think the other way, obviously I don't have to cover it that way forever, right? Unfortunately, though, if you get new investors, they like to see how the fund works. And if you really want to see how the fund works, covering at least one fund that way would be helpful to them. So I have to always keep in mind new subscribers, new people, coming to the channel. So I'll do my best to always keep one. Again, it may go down like from 3 to 2, like I said. So I don't know when, but at some point. All right, as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again on the Monday recap. I'm already forgetting, the the song. But if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down below. But I forget what I had listed, but since it's snowing, do you want to build a snowman? Blah, 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 blah. That's from Frozen. And yes, I like that movie. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I like Frozen. But yeah, good movie. Good kids movie. So if you have kids, you can watch it. My son hates it. I don't have girls, so they don't want to watch Frozen with me. So anyway, I love Disney movies in general. That's one thing Disney's good at, making movies. Well, they were. I don't know what they got going on lately. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for, the Saturday video. Obviously, for this weekend, following this in order, my options video, I'll do an options update. Rough week, so you'll see I'll be getting a lot of assignment, and you'll see I'll explain kind of what I learned going through this week, and what position I'm in heading into next week. So expect the options video typically around 2 p.m. And then the drive video, which is the Defiance versus Roundhill versus YieldMax, that comes out around 6 p.m. And then, of course, the Dividend, the YieldMax estimate video Sunday morning. And that's probably it. Again, busy-ass weekend before Christmas. I still have to buy gifts. Some gifts. Luckily, my wife did most of it. So it's pretty much mostly done. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. And if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. All right, the keyword. The keyword today is it's snowing. I don't know if it's snowing by you, but it's snowing by me. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you go down in the comments and you type "it's snowing." So and then you or you can yell it out loud and make people look out the window, right? Unless you live in Florida or something. But yeah, it's snowing here. Unfortunately, it's not enough to make a snowman, even though we're singing that song. But hopefully we do get enough snow this year that it can make a snowman. I love making snowman. And obviously the kids love it too. But I pride myself in building the biggest snowmen out there. So hopefully I get to do that again. We get some decent snow this year, but I'm not going to hold my breath. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm done yapping. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and we will talk soon. Later.